What's going on? Dan, and I'm here from my living room today. So I was gonna make a video while I was at the shop, but we had a crazy day, so I just didn't get a chance. But I wanted to talk to you guys about screen printing setup fees. A lot of people get like super confused by setup fees. They don't know why there's a screen print setup fee and why there's a screen print setup fee kind of every time that we actually do a job. So a setup fee, I think a lot of people think, well, that's to make the screen, right? But it's really about getting on press. And I think a lot of people don't understand the amount of time and labor it takes just to get on press. So it's everything from communicating with the design team, making sure the graphics are set up, making sure that all your colors are put to spot color, making sure that everything's set to layers right, exporting everything, going through Separation Studio, preparing your files correctly, sending everything to your rip drive so they can print out your transparencies. Those transparencies are like $1 a sheet. So we got to run transparencies out for every color, every image, every layer, every side, all that stuff. They all get a different transparency sheet. Then you got to take those transparencies over to your light table, pull an emulsed screen. So that's another whole labor thing. If you saw my video about emulsing screens, go check that out. Then you got to burn a screen for every color and every image and every placement. Then you got to rinse those screens out in your washout booth. Then you got to let them dry. Then you got to take them over to your press. Then you got to count in your shirts to make sure all the sizes and quantities are there. Then you got to stack everything and get ready to print. Then you got to get your screens leveled, make sure your off contact's correct. That means the gap between the screen and the platen or the garment that you're printing on. Then you got to tape your screens up, front and backs. Then you got to mix your inks. You got to spread your inks. You got to lay out your inks in the right order of how you're going to print them. And then you actually got to do a test run. So all of those things have to happen before we print one t-shirt. And so the setup fee is really just covering our cost, covering our labor cost to get on press, to give you that great, amazing screen printed t-shirt. So if you want to learn more about screen printing, feel free to stop by the shop, ask us questions. We're always happy to educate. We love the process of it. And if you need some help getting your brand looking good with some amazing screen printed t-shirts, give us a shout. Let us hook up your brand.